Another Disney failure. There are some things that makeup cannot cover up, and it's raining threes. Welcome back. Thanks for stopping by Two Hands and a Foot. Before we get started though today, go ahead and click that like button, click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't ever miss an episode. And please, we want this channel to get big, so share this with all of your friends. Now let's get into it. So Disney, in its infinite wisdom, has decided to put out another live action remake. You know, the bomb that they had with The Little Mermaid and the reasons for that. Now they're putting out Snow, well, not White, and 7 weirdly dressed companions, because only one of them is a dwarf. And they're dressed like pirates. So, if you haven't seen, some pictures have come out or have leaked of the production. And as you can see, we have Snow White and the 7 dwarves, so to speak. And as you can see, here's what they look like. At first, they denied that they were real, that these pictures were real pictures. Then, when they couldn't deny that, they had to backtrack and say, well, we didn't mean that they weren't real. They just weren't official pictures. Like, we were doing this, but they aren't official pictures. They're just stand-ins, stills that we're going to use for something else. They're not. That's what we meant by they're not real. They're not official pictures. Okay. Good, great, grand. Disney, you're missing the point. Now, in Disney's defense, in a very thin defense of Disney, I will say this. It takes a while to produce a movie. It does. It takes a while to produce a movie. And so your initial gut instinct is to say, well, learning after the flop of, The Little Mermaid live remake, they would have thought to never have done this. Well, Snow White was in full-fledged motion by the time that The Little Mermaid came out in theaters and lost them a bunch of money. So, in their defense, they had already done the majority of the work before Little Mermaid shot themselves in the foot. So, that's a very thin defense, because then I would sit there and say, just call it a loss. I wouldn't even have promoted the movie, leaked any photos. I would have stopped it right then and there, said, sorry, we're done. We're gonna scrap this. Even since we've made it all, we've recorded everything, we've got done, put it in the vault, set it on fire, and don't let it come out. But they don't think that way still. They don't want to take the loss. They still want to throw that out there and go with it. Now it's odd, but it's a theory. I mean, they're trying hard to maybe see if waiting long enough is going to do them any good. And they keep losing money. They think if they keep losing money long enough, eventually they'll have to stop losing money.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for them.
But it's not quite there yet. So there was a YouTube video I had watched just recently of this situation where I'm not going to put a link to it. You can search for it. This guy named Jonah, or his YouTube channel name, Jonah, was arguing amongst the F-bombs he kept dropping at Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire and his analysis of Snow White thing here. And his sole argument was Snow White isn't a real person. Therefore, it's not racism. It's not cultural appropriation. And so that's all his argument was. The issue is that Snow White is a tale from the Brothers Grimm in the 1800s set in Germany. So the fact that it's not a real life person has no effect on whether it's racist or it's cultural appropriation, because of the fact that it's an established objective reality. If it was a brand new idea, a brand new movie, a brand new thought, no, of course it wouldn't be. But you're taking from an established objectivity. So, sorry, guy. You're out of luck. But I think it's going to take much more of this for Disney and of the like to continue to feel this hurt, to make any changes. They're not learning fast enough. Sucks to be them, but they're not learning fast enough. So, Maybeline. They are at it again. I'll say that. There are some things that makeup cannot cover up, and they hired this guy, Randy Vita, to market their lipstick. Maybe they're born with it. Maybe they forgot. But they didn't do too hot when they sponsored Dylan Mulvaney with eyeshadow or concealer or whatever that makeup was. Marketing makeup by putting it on dudes is stupid. And they didn't learn with Dylan Mulvaney. They didn't learn by looking at every other company that was doing this crap. And they're going to double down and hope for the best with it. You can't make this stuff up. You can sprinkle sprinkles on a pile of crap and call it a cake, but it's a pile of crap. So a lot of people are calling for a boycott of Maybelline and then their parent company L'Oreal. I'm a guy. You don't market makeup products to women by putting it on dudes. You just don't do that. It's not smart marketing. You know, anybody can figure that one out. But they continue to do so. In happier news, the WNBA. I know that doesn't get a whole lot of fanfare, and it hasn't gotten a whole lot of positive feedback on this end of the spectrum here from my channel. But I will say this. One thing I was excited about that I like to see happen in any sport is their all-star game and people who participate in their all-star game and the all-star game activities. Like, I grew up watching the Major League Baseball All-Star Game and the Home Run Derby, and you saw my episode on that, or including that. And you know how I advocate for the WNBA players doing, or the NBA players doing the three-point contest and the slam dunk contest. Well, the WNBA this last weekend had their all-star activities. And let me tell you this. I didn't watch the all-star game. And actually, I didn't watch the actual contest live. But I will say this. One thing that stood out to me, and I'm going to put it out here for everybody to see. Sabrina Ionescu dropped some threes on the place. As a matter of fact, scored the most points ever in a three-point contest, both NBA and WNBA, in one round. 37 out of a possible 40 points she scored in the final round. And at one point, she hit 20 threes in a row. 20 threes in a row. Now, that's 37 points. That's more than Steph Curry had put in a contest to kind of give it a comparison for the number of threes. Now, let me throw out some stats here for you for comparison as far as three-point shooting is concerned. Steph Curry is probably the standard by which we say three-point shooting in this day and age is concerned. Now, we're not thinking, Reggie Miller time frame. We're thinking in this day and age. Steph Curry, this past season, his three-point shot percentage, 42.7%. Now let me see here, make sure I get this correct, because I have this so far, because we're at half of the season. But so far, Sabrina Ionescu has a three-point shooting percentage of 44.6. This girl is on fire. That's exciting. If you watch the three-point contest, it is amazing to watch those buckets drop. So, as much as we say the WNBA is inferior to the NBA, and it is, the standouts, though, make it interesting. So, congratulations, Sabrina. You have done something I don't think we'll see in quite a while unless you do it again next year and break your record. But I wanted to end this on a happy, positive note, on something that's something we can look to and say, hey, that's pretty cool. I mean, to be compared to shooters like Steph Curry and to have that close of a shooting percentage is interesting. And it's pretty cool. So I think we ought to enjoy that part of the entertainment side of the WNBA. So that's all I have for today. Everything that we've discussed is in the links in the description. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you have not already. Again, share this episode and any other episode that you've enjoyed on your other social media platforms. Just giving it a like and commenting. Spreading the word out there that two hands and a foot is something that needs to be watched and enjoyed. Have a great day, and I'll catch you on the flip side.